Hey guys, today we're going to be doing another lift on the 2000 S10 Blazer. Last time we were with you, we were doing a 2-inch body lift from Performance Accessories, and that went pretty good. This is what we're looking at right now. Just picked up these brand new 31s, 2-inch body lift. Okay, so I just picked this up today. It's a 2.5-inch rough country lift. Comes with a nice book, everything you need is in here. It says you need a torsion bar tool, a hammer, jack stands, floor jack, wheel chocks, and a reciprocating saw to cut the front dip a little bit, and miscellaneous sockets and wrenches. We're going to be going step by step through this, so we don't miss nothing. And this is what's in the kit. Nice rebuildable upper A-arms, some ball joints in them. Stickers for your shocks, of course. Come with these things. I don't know what the fuck these things are. And your differential drop-down brackets. These things. Some nice heavy-duty shackles. These look really nice and thick. And your hardware. Comes with new torsion keys, nice thick ones. And the brand new shocks. Lovely. And Rough Country was nice to me. They said, Dylan, you're a good customer. So look what they threw in. Shit. A nice windshield decal. Nice Rough Country suspension system decal. That is gorgeous. So for this lift, like I said, we need those tools. An air compressor is going to help me get those bastard shackles out. Because son of a bitch, they're a bastard. Got those things there, got a nice air hose, a jack, and I quit smoking. So you gotta get some beer. Stay tuned. Okay, so first up we gotta do, we're gonna jack up the truck, make sure we got some jack stands down there. We're gonna remove the rims. Get these rims tires off, size 19. Should be easy as shit. 19, 3/4, one of those two. I use 19, but so once it's all jacked up, our next step is going to be to remove the stock torsion keys from the truck underside, and then we're going to put the Rough Country ones in. Okay, now we're going to loosen the torsion bar bolts here. There's one on the opposite side. For reference, I'm just underneath the truck. I think right between the doors. You'll be able to identify them from this long rod going up, and it stops right here at this cross member. Okay, so we got the torsion bar bolts and the lock retainer things out. Now we don't have a torsion bar tool, so what we did, I don't really recommend this, but we used the jack and a 1/2-inch, where did it go? We used a 1/2-inch driver, and as we jacked up, we applied pressure to the torsion bar here. The key right here, and that elevated up a bit, just enough so we can get the slider out, the little lock, which is up here. So you can try that out if you like. Okay, so you have to get those. Once you get those torsion bar keys out, you're going to want to start by removing the ABS wire from the upper control arm here. Now it's pretty well rusted, so I'm just. The 3/8 drive works on here, 3/8 socket. Once we remove that, we're going to want to remove all the sway bar components. With the sway bar, you're going to want to use 10mm socket and a 15mm wrench. So we'll get those out of there next. Okay, so after you remove the front sway bar, mine wasn't very friendly, so I had to take a fucking grinder and grind the shit out of it. So it's gone, it's off. Now we're going to be removing the shocks. You're going to need an 18mm wrench and a socket. Just like this, we're going to get them off real quick. Okay, I'm going to go out of the norm on this one since I have a helping hand. I'm actually going to show you how we fucking do it.
like those other fucking moves there on the...
Look at that. Took us 1 second to get that son of a gun out. This side we're gonna do the same gosh darn root toot whisker biscuit bald-headed bumblebee motherfucking kind of thing.
Is it a 4x4?
Yep.
What's that guy's name from Rough Country? Dustin.
Dustin from Rough Country.
Dustin from Rough Country.
What extension was it? 1, 2, 3?
Okay.
Dustin from Rough Country, extension 1, 2, 3. Is it a 4x4? Yes. Alright.
Oh yeah.
You got that wrench wedge right down there. Bye.
Make sure you find Taylor Pegg on Facebook. Taylor Pegg, P-E-G-G, and Taylor like Taylor Swift, the girl. He is really feminine-like.
Well, he drives a fucking... There he is right there.
He drives a fucking Ford.
Better than a Dodge. Anything's better than a Dodge.
Your mom rode better. Pull that shock out. Push down. There you go. Kinda hope to hit that car. They're probably still good.
They are still good, man.
Put them on my truck.
They're not bad, pussies.
Sell it. Put them on your truck.
Shit, I wonder if they're the same size.
They probably are. I'm trying to show off your muscles.
Sitting on a dirt road, laying back, swimming like a Georgia. Rolling out the window, eyes closed, listening in the concert. Memory line up in the headline, got me reminiscing on good times.
This is what happens when you fucking hook on at something hard. Break her fucking clean right off. Look. I'm thinking I'd fucking buy a rear section. You cut it right there. Make it separate in there. That's where they fucking decided to put a little piece of box on it. Fucking idiots. Oh, broke. They go with the fucking lift kit too. Some fucking coon can have it.
Okay, next after you get those cocksucking shocks out, you're going to want to remove your tie rod nuts and use a hammer or a mallet to dislodge it. But we've already done that, as you can see. Next up we're going to be removing the upper ball joint nut. And we're going to be using a 18mm socket and wrench. And you're going to want to keep the nut and bolt comes off so we can put it back on next time.
I don't need to keep it, it comes with a new one.
Oh. I stand corrected. Just gonna get rid of that cotter pin in there. And we're gonna get that upper control arm out. On step 12. And then after that, we're gonna want to remove the upper A-arms. And that can be done with the same 18mm socket and wrench. Bolt here and a bolt over there.
What's leaking?
Okay, Okay, now we're going to be removing the upper A-arms here.
You gotta say things so differently.
And we made a mistake earlier in the last segment. It's actually a 19mm, not an 18mm for
It
this
might be
bolt.
because you have a different fucking ball joint on this.
Oh.
You have
Well, it's either 18 or 19.
replaced ball joints.
Nice good view in here. Perfect.
Where is the hammer?
Over here.
That's wrong.
What's that?
Ah!
There we are.
I got her. One down.
Yep.
Sell this fucking controller to somebody.
Mm.
Hey, I got a new ball.
Okay, we had to go to the store and get a couple parts. We had to go get a 35mm axle nut socket thing. So we just took that off here now. I apologize for the lighting, by the way. Yeah, so our next step now is to remove the grill. And we're going to removing the headlight assembly and some other shit. Okay, so we got the A-arms off on the top. We got everything all ready. Next step, we got to drop the differential. Underneath the diff, according to this, got to use an 11mm socket, and we got to support the differential with a floor jack. So we're going to do that next. Hopefully we have enough light to get down there. Get down dirty. Dirty, dirty. Okay, so we are under the truck. This is the oil pan here. And this is the transfer case. Just so you can see where I am. This is the front drive shaft here. What I've done so far is taken off the caps for the drive shaft. And I'm going to be popping that out next. And in the front end of the truck here, sorry about the camera angles, we are undoing the hardware for the front diff, and we have it supported by a jack as per the instructions. The caps are 11mm bolts, or sockets. What's up on the front there? What socket size is that?
18mm.
18 mil?
You need a wrench and an impact right there.
1, 2, 3, and then the reserve? Yeah.
Alright, right there. Right there. Right there. And there's another one right here.
Camera's not.
I've used like 1 1/4. What the fuck are you doing?
That's
Right beside you.
When we were on X, I loved shooting. Like, I hated it.
Okay, our next step is to drop the differential.
Oh, you pull this one out.
Imagine if that was real.
We're going to drop the differential and we're going to remove the drive shaft, and then we'll see what's up from there. Okay, so last night it got pretty dark, so we had to abandon our project. So we're back at day 2. Basically where we left off last night, we are trying to drop the differential, and that's what we're going to do right now, hopefully. What do you feel we'll get on a differential?
Oh, I hate the dumb fucking cocksucking nigger. I mean, look at me. I look like I'm half nigger.
He smokes a fucking nigger too.
Okay, basically we had a lot of trouble getting this differential out. A lot. We had to take on these lower control arm things.
Until it pissed off in Alberta.
Yeah, pissed off at Alberta. Then we went over on this side here. We had to take the CV shafts out, drop this side down here. We tried to get the steering components out, but that didn't come out. Then there's a bracket right over here where the drive shaft is.
ended up bending the shit out of it. Then she came out. You ready?
Now this is the point of no return. We've got the differential out. Why isn't this auto-focusing?
You make sure that's the right one, right?
Yeah, that's the right one.
It's not this one.
No, it's the upper mount. This is it here.
You see that fucking machine? Yeah, that's the upper mount, because there's your fucking air vent on the top.
Okay, now this is the point of no return. We have the differential out. We have a Jason here with a mini grinder. It's suggested you use a reciprocating saw, but alas, you gotta use what you gotta use. Now, we're going to be cutting differential. This is the upper bracket mount. It's identified from here where the vent tube is. We're going to cut clean across here. And after we cut clean across here, we got to cut all of this off here. Right on here. So nice and careful. Remember, if you fuck up, then you're fucked. Pretty well through. Okay, we have just finally cut everything. This is what your differential is going to look like once you're done cutting. And the bracket is applied. There's a bush you need to install right here. And there's a couple screws with washers, flat washers. And there's just an Allen key guy right there. So the next step is we're going to install the differential. Hopefully it won't be as hard as when we took it out. Okay, we now have the front differential in, which is awesome. That's all in. We haven't hooked up the drive shaft yet. We're going to do that next. Some tips, I guess. This bracket down here, which we bent out to get the differential down, you don't want to bend it back. I cracked mine a bit, so I got to re-weld that soon, next couple days or whatever. And we got the wedge. Got that plate right there. And on the other side we got that wedge for the passenger differential drop. Right there, that chrome piece. And from here on out you're going to want to the four-wheel drive actuator cable. Right here. You're going to want to fish it up through here. There's a bolt right there. Run it through that bracket. From there it's going to come up through your engine bay. Right here, and it's going to lock back onto your actuator right here. Okay, now we have the lower control arms in and bolted in. It doesn't really say a torque spec for them, so I just use the impact on them. But that's kind of a pain in the ass. What I used to get them in, to get them all lined up, was the jack. I positioned the jack underneath the lower ball joint and kind of jacked it up the way it probably would be if the wheels were on it and everything was all hooked up. So I just put them all up there, got them all level, and I used a punch or some kind of extension and just kind of drove them through with a hammer. So that's what we're looking at now. Lower end is all together. After you get your axle installed, you're going to want to install your upper A arms that are supplied with the kit. This is a nice part of the lift because now we're actually starting to install parts, which is nice. Now there's two sides for the control arms. Make sure you got the correct side. Will be listed in the instructions which side is which. With the new control arms up here. You're going to want to tighten these up, these bolts up here, but you don't want them super tight. Just snug them up, because when we put the wheels on and drop it down, you're gonna want to tighten them up again anyway. It's gonna bind up on you. So after this, we're going to be installing the lower. What are we installing? Let's take a look. The control arm bolts. Yeah. These little doohickeys that I threw on the ground when I first opened the kit, they're actually bump stops for your upper control arms. There's a little hole right here. That's where they're going to want to go. You're going to want to thread it up here. Up like that. Then your lock washer and your nut go on there. Just tighten them down so they're snug. Okay, now that we have all the front end together, we have A-arms, lower control arms hooked up. We got steering linkage all hooked up here. We started to install the shocks. Got to bolt them in still, but what you're going to do with the shocks, they're going to come like this. There's a couple bushings you got to install. They're over here. Just going to want to hammer these bushings right into the shock. Then you can go ahead and install those. Okay, so as you can see, we have both shocks on, torqued down, ready to go. Next up after that, if you have a sway bar, you're going to want to reinstall it using the existing hardware that you took off. It goes right down there, as you remember. Right there, rather. Then after you get that sway bar in, you're going to want to reinstall your torsion keys. I couldn't get mine out for the life of me, so I'm just going to have to bolt them right back in. After that, onwards to the rear. Okay, we installed the front end. Everything is all lifted in the front. Because I didn't install my aftermarket lift keys, I wasn't able to achieve all the lift I could on the front, and my alignment's a little bit out of whack on the front. A lot out of whack. So maybe next week in my shop class I'll get those aftermarket keys on. So for now we're going to end up lifting up the rear. Basically what we got to do for this, we got to jack her up, put jack stands right in front of the leaf springs, right down here. And from there we are going to want to remove the tires and wheels, and we're going to remove the rear shock absorbers. The shocks have a 21mm socket or wrench if you want to use, and you get those out and we'll continue from there. Once you remove your shock absorbers, you have to be careful because since my body lift's here, I can see it quite nicely. Up here they're welded on. There's two nuts that are welded up here. They didn't come out, so we ended up grinding them off with an angle grinder. So we went to Canadian Tire and bought a couple random nuts and bolts, started them on. Now they work up nice. Right now we're going to take it off the rear sway bar and applying the drop bracket, or I guess the lift brackets for the sway bar. Because my truck is stupid as shit, I cannot get the rear shackles off, so I'm gonna have to do that another day, probably at school with torches and shit, because it's just ridiculous how to put those on. But so far, looking pretty nice. Front end is just by itself, looking like I can probably clear 33s right now. That's with the torsion bars cranked right to the max, the stock keys that is. Nice bunch of clearance on the front end here. Lots of clearance. So once I get these, the sway bar bracket on and the new shocks on, it's probably going to be the end of the video. I might update it later on with some pictures with the shackles on, but as for now I cannot put these on. I need a torch. These are a bastard. But yeah. Okay, we are at school now, and we are torching the rear shackle bolts and the bushings right out of this truck. I picked up some new bushings today from the store, about $10 each. We got 4 of those. And I also installed my front sway bar with all new bushings. So we're just cutting here. You're gonna have a nice smell when you're burning them. Thank goodness for my body lift, I can actually see. I have the truck jacked up on the frame. I have a nice 20-ton jack to pull in the rear differential. So when this bracket goes, it won't hurt no one. Yeah, we use the torch to burn this little bushing out. It's on fire now, so keep a fire extinguisher handy. And while it's burning away, you're going to want to take a punch or something and just kind of hammer it out as we go. Okay, so we have torched out the bushings and the bolts successfully. So as you can see, my leaf spring is just hanging, which is nice. So I'm going to let it cool down for a bit. And you don't want to start 2 at the same time. You want to get one done and then start on the other one in case you have any problems or anything like that. So I'm going to let this cool. I'm going to help Jason here weld up this frame. Okay, we have the old shackle out and the new one is just installed. I had to fight with it for quite some time, but ow, shit. New shackle is in. The lift shackle. Just gotta torque everything down. We had to buy new bolts, grade 8 bolts. A couple new washers. We ended up torching everything off. Now we just gotta torque them down, install that rim, and then this side is all done. And we just got the other side to do here, and that's it, is it. Okay, we just got both rear shackles on. We're just finalizing putting the last remaining tire on. And that completes our Rough Country 2.5-inch suspension lift. It took a few hours, number of hours compared to what the book says, but you know, we had weather to deal with and time schedules and class to deal with and everything like that. But overall the instructions are pretty straight going. Nice instructions. As long as you're dedicated, you can get it done, no problem. Luckily for us, we have the use of a nice garage here at school. Got a bunch of air tools and everything like that. Nice box. Comes with a nice, beautiful box all in there. I still got to put my decals on. And Rough Country was great. They threw in a nice windshield banner for me. I'm gonna probably throw that on my rear window next couple days. Yeah, just once you're all done, make sure you get your alignment done too on your front end, because your wheel's going to look all cockeyed. As you can tell, they're a little bit out. Like I said, I didn't install I still have my stock keys, my torsion bar keys, so they're all out a little bit. Right now my torsion bars are cranked to the max, but maybe next week I'll install those. Okay, well, thank you for sitting around and hanging out with us as we installed our 2.5-inch Rough Country suspension lift for the S10 Jimmies and Blazers. I'll get a couple snapshots of the truck once we get out of the garage all finished up. Thank you for watching. Okay, here's the finished product. This is with 31 by 10.5 R15 tires, a 2-inch performance accessory body lift, and now the Rough Country 2.5-inch lift. Still got to get my alignment, but pretty good.